Well,
Your guru is live.
good morning and welcome to Pi Day. For those of you who have kids or you yourself studied math and the statistics and all that, something I dearly love personally, you know that today is March 14th, 3.14, otherwise known as Pi Day. And dearly love it. One of my favorite shows, of course, The Big Bang Theory. Loving it. So, of course, all you can watch now are the reruns. But what a great show. So today we're talking about windows. And why do we pay attention as realtors? Why do we pay attention to windows and sliders and everything that has glass in it? Windows are often known in the real estate market as the eyes to the home. And what a nice phrase for it, because windows can be a thing of absolute beauty. If they are the eyes to the home, well, you can certainly see why, because they're glassy by nature. They are beautiful. You can see in and out of them. Windows bring an aesthetic pleasingness to a home that is absolutely incredible. And homes that don't have many windows, well, they're missing a big aspect of beauty for sure. We're going to take this thing apart and make sure you know everything you need to know about windows to build your business bigger than ever before, right after this.
So, Rod, what does it mean? 7 minutes to a new career.
Well, in 7 minutes, we can have a cup of coffee, we can talk career goals, and how we're going to help you make the biggest career move in your life.
That's right. There's a lot of things that Mountain Hood Realty has to offer, and Rod is a ball of energy.
I love the career, and I want to share with you my passion for building your business bigger than you ever thought it could be.
Come spend 7 minutes with us. We look forward to it.
Talk to you soon.
The guru is back.
Okay, grab your cup of coffee this morning. I've got my Black Rifle Coffee Company coffee going this morning. And if those who continue to ask, I have the whole bean. I grind it myself in the morning, and it's Blackbeard's whole bean from the Black Rifle Coffee Company. Dearly love it. I make it in a mocha pot. All right, sipping the coffee. Love my coffee in the morning. Okay, so why windows? What do windows actually mean to the home? Well, windows are the first thing that people see when they look at the home. They're looking at the home is kind of looking back at them. And windows are the obvious feature of the home. Whether it's a window in the garage or a window in the home itself, windows are an obvious feature because they shine the light, they glare, they're brilliantly lit up for the home itself. Whether it's night or day, windows, of course, make a difference to the features of the home itself. So, first thing you have, now we're dealing with sellers here. Remember, we're in a seller's market, and a lot of times people have said, well, right, why do you even worry about seller's market, right? And they do anything they want. We want to represent our clients to build your business better than ever before, because we want recommendations. And yes, it's possible to leave money on the table even in a seller's market. Remember, a seller's market, there's very few sellers, a ton of buyers, but it's still possible to leave money on the table if the home does not look attractive, if it does not look the best it can be. The better the home looks, the more attractive to the buyers it is, the more desire the buyers are going to have for the home. And the more desire they have, the more likelihood you're going to get a bidding war and bid that home up and have not a dollar left on the table. That the sellers will have been able to pick up every dollar possible. Because let me tell you, the buyers are going to pick the home apart. And one of the first things they're going to look at in the home is, are the windows clean? And we're talking, no dirt on them. People will go years and not clean the outside of the window. People will go years not clean the inside of the windows, for goodness sakes. We have shades on them. We have all kinds of things on them. But windows become damaged in lots of ways. What does it mean to have damaged windows? What does that mean to the buyer when they look at the home and they see a cracked window? That says something to the buyer. That says this home has not been kept up in the pristine fashion that they are hoping for. That means possibly they need a repair addendum. They may need other repair addendums down in the wall for leakage. There may be other spoilage. There may be other problems. There might be mold because of the cracked windows, allow in the elements that they are to be protecting to keep on the other side of the window. But once it becomes cracked and damaged, that's a problem. And that isn't what the window is there for. Windows are there for to keep the elements on the other side, and you and your warmth or your cooling, whatever you want, on the inside. So damaged windows might say to the buyer that it's a bad neighborhood. Now, I don't know what bad neighborhood really means, but you'll hear this being thrown around a lot. Well, there's a couple cracked windows in that house. Maybe it's a bad neighborhood. And I always wonder, how does a cracked window mean it's a bad neighborhood? But this is something that comes about. So you have to be aware of the aesthetics of what's happening. Now, as the realtor representing the seller, you need to get these things fixed ahead of time if your seller is at all willing. Of course, coaching your seller is incredibly important. Before you go live the first time, taking a solid tour, a full tour of the home, taking a look at all the different parts of the home, and making sure you take a look at the windows from the inside and the outside. You might need to bring binoculars for this. Some windows are very high on a home. Yes, you might need to bring things like binoculars. Certainly, you're going to want to have someone there that has eyesight, more than me. You're going to want to have someone that can take a look at these things and find out what is the condition of the exterior. When you're 3 floors up or 2 floors up and you can't easily go out on a roof or something and take a look at that window, you're going to want to know what is the condition of that window. And if it's cracked, maybe the people didn't replace it just because it's difficult to get to. And they didn't want to hire someone to come in and do it yet. But what it's saying to the buyer is this might be a bad neighborhood. Or it might be saying to the buyer, they just don't care for the home, and the home has been poorly maintained, poor maintenance. Which, again, we're talking the price going down, even in a seller's market. Remember, we're here to help you build your business bigger than ever before. You have a seller, they have a beautiful home, but they have some cracked windows, or they have some other problems. Maybe the moisture vapor barrier has broken. And inside of it, there's that moisture that's gotten in, and it's fogged the window. Does that mean that there's poor maintenance throughout the home? Well, we would hope not, but possibly that is happening. It's certainly in the mind of the buyer. They're looking for reasons. And when I'm representing the buyer, I'm looking for reasons right along with them to get them the best deal in the market. And is there a reason to pull the price down and still win the offer? Well, things like broken vapor barriers, things like cracked windows. Certainly, if you see actual leaks and the windowsill is wet on the inside, that's a problem. Now we have problems with windows, and windows can be extraordinarily expensive for a huge reason, because they are one element of a bigger problem. If it's been leaking, it probably went into the wall, and now we're going to have to take a look at, is there wall damage? Is there damage to the sill? Is there damage to the other wood? Is there damage to the insulation? Is it wet and causing a dry rot? That's a problem. Now we're talking real problems, and for real things that would have to go into a repair addendum, or the price of the home comes down because of it. So, are the tracks clean? Now, this is something to pay close attention to for your buyers and your sellers. When you're inspecting the windows, take a look at the tracks. What do the tracks tell you? Now, you might see that there's little muddy parts in there, which means you've got a leak problem. Or maybe they've had the window open and you need to ask them, has this window been left open recently during a rain time? And it needs to be cleaned up. So it's not showing that kind of result. Well, something certainly to be looking at, and I guarantee you others and all the inspectors I know of take a close look at the windows, because windows are a sign. They are a telltale sign of things to come. Leaking windows, even asking the seller, do your windows leak? Do they leak? Is that a problem that you've had? And get the story. That way you know inside the disclosures what's going on. Maybe they just got done replacing everything, and now they don't leak, but they did leak. And you want to know what kind of methods they use to fix this problem. Not just change the window, but were there other inspections and checks along the pathway. All right, let's take a second here, slow down and sip our coffee. I hope you're having a great morning this morning along with us. Windows are a topic that people avoid all the time because no one wants to tell someone to go and clean their window. All right. Take a minute. I would love it if you'd make a comment. Send in your comments either about this topic or about other topics that you would like to have to help us build your business bigger than ever before. Also, take a moment and hit the like button. I love it when you hit the like button. I will honestly say, it makes my day. It makes my day when you hit the like button. Follow us on social media. Go over to YouTube. The link is right down here in the banner to YouTube. Go to YouTube. If you're not watching this on YouTube, this show is shown on multiple different social medias, simulcast simultaneously, live, and then throughout the day we rebroadcast. And if you go to YouTube, though, there's something special you need to go do. And that is you need to click on the subscribe button. That will open up the members only events. That you will become a Guru member, and that will open up the Guru members only events. So click on that, become a subscriber, and let's build your business bigger than ever before. Okay, more about windows. So You've inspected the window itself. You look for moisture. You've inspected from the outside. You got your binoculars out. You took a look all around. And now what else? I mean, windows are a thing of beauty. They are safety. They are light to the, now we have all kinds of heating systems. But early on, windows were used as a heat source also in our, early history. Because we not only needed light, but we needed heat. All right, so what about window coverings, the shades? Are they bent? Are they in poor shape? What room is it in? Maybe it was in a kid's room. Replacing Venetian blinds is not a tremendous expensive thing to go and do. And I'm not trying to waste anybody's money here, but it's not a tremendous expensive thing to go and replace Venetian blinds. So you might, if they're really bent and out of shape, and it might just be because it was a kid's room and they got played with, and things just happen. I've even seen it where dogs and things had scratched up on them and bent them to pieces. Well, this will make the home look like as if it's been harshly used. And that is the buyer saying to themselves, this home needs to be bid down. Remember, we're talking about aesthetics as well as actual damage. Because the price of a Venetian blind, not so much. Although if you have drapes that are in the home, and the drapes have been disturbed, the drapes have been shredded by a dog, or they have gotten wet because maybe the old window leaked so bad it got onto the drapes from wind blowing through and over time. This is a telltale sign, and you want to get rid of it. Of course, it'll cause a smell. There might be mold going on. The whole thing needs to go out because it's a sign of bad things. And you're trying to help your seller build the best presence of aesthetic availability that they possibly can to the buyers looking at their home. That is important. That will get you referrals in the future. Coaching the people that we represent. It's one of the hardest things we do because particularly new agents want to say yes, yes, yes to the buyer, to the sellers, to the buyers as well. But all they want to do is say yes, yes, yes. They don't want to give them the hard advice of that room needs to be repainted. That purple wall is not pleasing to anybody but you. Let's get it primed. Let's get it painted. The carpet, maybe it needs to be fixed. These are the kind of pieces of advice that are so difficult, particularly for new agents. They go in, they've been looking at houses, they're well educated in the market, they see what's going on, but then delivering that advice is part of being a professional and building your business. And let me tell you, while you might be afraid to give it at first, once you start delivering your advice with examples, people will appreciate it like you can hardly believe. People will love you for it because they really want to know how to get the best deal as a seller, get the most, which is the best deal for them, for their home possible. And if there's some advice pieces like this, they need to know of it. So what is the general purpose of windows? We were talking about how, they deliver beauty. They're the eyes to the home. They have safety features to them. Windows have a safety. You can see out. You can also get out in the case of fire. They allow ingress and egress in and out of the home. They allow a heat source of the sun coming in. They also open, so they allow ventilation. There is a lot of aspects that windows do for us in a home. They're not just put there only for aesthetic purposes. They actually have functional use to the home. And you want to remember this as you are giving advice to the seller or the buyer about the windows in the home. Because, you don't want to tell someone just to board them up. That can never be a good remedy. If you have a window, you don't want to just board it up. You want it fixed appropriately, as well as looked at for any damage that may be around the window itself, the sill, and the outside of the window, the inside of the window, all around, because these are the points of entry for elements. Windows help protect us from things. They help protect us certainly from the weather. We know that. Now I know before I start getting the comments that, well, a burglar can certainly break a window. I'm not talking about that kind of safety. Of course, people can break through a window and get in. I get that. I'm talking about you can see out. You can also see in before approaching a house, often if there's not shades over it. You can see somewhat what's going on in the house, and from the inside, you can see who's approaching. That's the kind of safety I'm talking about. Windows also keep other things out, like animals, rodents, mice, all that kind of thing. And that's important for us for our personal health safety. We don't want that kind of thing in our home. So windows, a really important aspect of the home. There's just no doubt about it. I would like to hear from you. If you advise somebody to replace windows, how did that conversation go? In what avenue did you take the conversation? Was it because of window damage? Was it because of outdated window? Windows also, just like any other aspect of the home, just like, having the old-fashioned orange countertops in the kitchen from the 70s with the Formica, or the green shag carpet from the 70s, just like those aspects, windows also can become very outdated. And the whole thing, the whole window itself, the whole structure may need to be updated, or it may need to be refinished to at least look aesthetically pleasing and keep it up to shape as to what's going on. And windows come in all kinds of fashions. Windows, the large window that it is, inside of it can be divided into several panels. Now we have windows that have the appearance of panels, but it's on the inside and you can't even get to that structure. It just has that appearance, and they are quite beautiful, stunningly done. But windows come in so many different ways and fashions, and argon gas filled windows. So that's that vapor barrier. You don't want to release the gas because the gas is stopping things from the moisture from getting in. It's stopping the window from fogging, all that wonderful stuff. And you need to be looking at what the issues are. Along with windows come screens. I hate to mention it. Here we are on a Monday morning, and I hate to mention screens, because I'm telling you, I'm probably going to get some comments on. Go ahead and just send me your comments on screens. Let me know what you think. You're probably saying, why did he bring up screens? I know screens are the horrible thing for realtors and sellers, excuse me. Because all the buyers will say, well, you're missing 6 screens on the house. I want them all replaced. It always comes up. It will always come up because they want them all replaced. They want all the screens in every single window. Why is that? Because people want ventilation, and they want the ventilation without the mosquitoes. This makes sense. Yeah. It does make sense. Let me sip my coffee here. All right. I know I've got comments coming in about screens. Just even bringing screens up, it's such a hot point. It is a structural piece of the window. Screens are supposed to be on the window. I'll tell you, at I have a cabin up on Mount Hood. I couldn't even use my windows most of the summer if it wasn't for screens. There's too many bugs out in the forest. Thankfully, we have good screens. And when one breaks, we have to have the screen repaired. There are companies out there that will repair the screens for windows. And yes, they'll come out there and install them for you. Because screens are tight. A well-made screen goes into the window, snaps in very tight on purpose. It's supposed to help keep the bugs and stuff out, so it can't have some huge, gap in them. All right. So screens, we know that's a big deal. Windows can provide a beautiful view, particularly if you are on a property that has a view of the mountain, that can be amazing. Large windows or many windows making up a large view. This is something you want to showcase. Now, a lot of these types of windows that are higher up or large packs of windows together, many of these won't open and probably don't have screens with them for a good purpose. You don't want those windows to have a screen or open because you don't want the view to be further blocked by a screen. And if they don't open, there's no need to have a screen on them. So, as well as windows that are high up, certainly don't have as much of a security issue with them as well. So, windows, it's one of the things of every house that when you get involved, windows cannot be missed because they are such a critical component of what people think about a home. You take a home that has almost no window, it's low in windows. It has the minimal, one window per room or something. It's going to be much darker. It may have a dank feeling to it. You take the same home with extra windows in it, and it feels like it's all brightened up. And that is a feeling that people like. People like the concept. If you go into a seller's home, and this is common for older homes, they have heavy drapes covering all the windows. You'll want to make sure those get tied back. I'm not saying get rid of the old drapes. Some of the old drapes are absolutely wonderful, but you'll want to make sure you got tiebacks for them. So allowing the light to come in. People want to see that the home has some natural light. There is a feeling to natural light that is unescapable. People feel better aesthetically about the home when there is natural light coming on in. All right. We've been talking today about windows. It's a huge topic. We've scratched the surface, but I wanted to make sure we're building your business bigger than ever imagined before. And part of that is making sure you can answer the questions, or you are the source of the source. You are the source of information, of being able to reach out and say, we've got questions. The window is wet. We need to have an inspector come in here. And by bringing these questions up, you are showing value to your client. I don't care if your client is the buyer or the seller. Either way, you are showing value to the client by noticing conditions that will come up during the sale of their home. And this is the position you need to be in. Is informing the client, showing that you are a professional and you are noticing things about the biggest asset they are going to buy or the seller currently owns. You position yourself for a future referral business. This is Real Estate Daily. I'm your real estate guru, and I look forward to helping you build your business bigger than ever before. Don't forget to like the show, send me a comment, and subscribe on our social media. Talk to you soon.